Okay, so welcome everybody to our Red, White, and Brew at Home series. And today we're talking about tequila. And I will introduce my friend Elliot, who I've known for 8 million years. Right?
Yes, yes.
So you know my rules here. I want everybody to take pictures of their setup and what you're eating or what you're doing with, who your people are. Send me a picture. I'll put my phone number in the chat. I think Elliot will be very open to, if you have questions, you can just ask instead of waiting till the end, correct?
I love the lime over there. That man's got it right.
Yeah. And so, yeah, if you have any questions, just blurt them out. And
Sure.
I think that's it. So Elliot, go right ahead.
All right. So before I put up my slides, I'll give you just a little history about me. I started in the wine and spirit business in 1981, working in a liquor store my way through college. In the mid 1980s, I worked as a wholesale salesperson, left that type or side of the business and got into the supplier side in 2001. I've worked for Brown-Forman, I've worked for Banfi Vintners, I've worked for Tito's Handmade Vodka, and now I work for Paradise Spirits as the regional manager. Paradise Spirits is a startup company. It's very ground floor, very interesting, but the tequila brand that we have is very, very cool. So I'm gonna take control of the screen here if I can. And I am going to, if you give me just one moment, I have to figure out how to do this. It's been a little while since I've done a Zoom meeting. Okay, so the name of the brand is El Tequileño. El Tequileño means a person from tequila. And our hashtag is Mexico's best kept secret. So it is a very, very cool thing. There's 5 things you should know about this brand that most people would not understand or know unless you took a little time to learn about it. The brand started in 1959. It's one of only 10 distilleries that only produces tequila for themselves. There's 245 distilleries in Mexico. Only 10 of them make for themselves and nobody else. So you'll see other brands that have, 20, 30, 40 different brands that they're making, some for celebrities, some for, just certain places that want something exclusive. Like Total Wine has certain brands that are made at certain distilleries. And we are one of those few that actually makes just for ourselves. We're born in the Highlands, which means that all our agave comes from the Highlands. All tequila is made in tequila, but in the area of Mexico called Guadalajara. It's a brand singularly focused on craft, this brand is very craft and high in quality. And the most highly respected brand in tequila around the world. We are the 3rd best-selling tequila in Mexico. There are 2 other brands that sell just a little bit better than us. And consumer ratings and official awards definitely emphasize our quality. So we have a great founder. His name was Jorge Saez Cuervo. Jorge, or we refer to him as the Don, was in the business starting in 1941, and he left his family's distillery and opened his own in 1959, literally down the street from where the family was set up. So on New Year's Day, 1959, he launched his old brand, his completely new brand, and named it El Tequileño to pay homage to the town people and its culture. So it's 62 years old, actually. It's bottled in the La Guareña distillery in the town of Tequila in Jalisco, and it's gained a lot of prominence, and people really do enjoy drinking this tequila. This is the original packaging. It's changed a little bit over time, but it has been around for quite some time, and people really do enjoy it. So the Don was the first master distiller. He started in 1959. In 1990, his son Antonio took over as master distiller. And Antonio's still around. The Don passed in 2000, but Antonio was the master distiller up until 2005 when Tony took over as master distiller. So it's 3 generations of family. I can tell you that Tony is a great guy. I've worked with him. I got the chance to meet him. I've been to Tequila. I've been to Mexico. Really nice guy. Antonio, his father, is more involved in the manufacturing part where the bottling goes and the aging process, where Tony is more involved in production. So it's 60 years of history. It's situated right in the heart of tequila. We produce only our own. And, you know, by the highest standards, this is what we are. And we're going to sip some of these in just a moment. So like I said, we're born in the highlands. Our agave comes from the Los Altos area of Jalisco, which is in the northern part of the area and up in the high mountains. Our water source is actually very cool. There is a volcano, a dormant volcano that is just outside the town of Tequila. And there is a spring that actually comes down the mountaintop and then right into the town. And the distillery literally is built right on this. So all that water comes in and we use that natural spring water in order to make our tequila. We use open fermentation, which basically means when we are producing our agave and crushing our agave and basically cooking the agave, we do open fermentation, and there's 150-year-old mango trees that are on the property that definitely interact, and we copper pot distill our tequila twice. So here's where we get started a little bit. People are big into sustainability. Mexico is not quite as big with sustainability, but this particular family is really big because they're part of the area that wants to keep the fields enriched. They want to keep the water as clean as possible. And part of the process when you create tequila is you take what's left of the agave, they grind it, they turn it into compost, and then they truck it back up to where they pick the original agave and use it as fertilizer. And on the campus of the distillery itself, there is a hotel, which I'll show you a little bit later, and they use the compost also to grow fruits and vegetables on the property. It's really quite cool. So here we go. El Tequileno is verified additive free, which means that we don't use any preservatives, we don't use any caramel coloring, we don't use any kind of crazy chemistry in order to make our tequila taste any better or worse or try to alter the flavor. We don't add strawberries or mangoes or anything like that to the tequila. We want it to be as pure as it can possibly be. This is our new bottling plant, something kind of cool. I guess I figure it's kind of cool to see where this happens. So the first tequila that we have is our El Tequileno Blanco. Does everyone have their Blanco? I'm actually going to see if everybody's got it.
So Elliot, just before we get started, is there a proper way to drink tequila? Is there a proper glass to use?
Well, yes. I mean, people generally think about tequila as a shot, and you don't really want to do it that way. These tequilas are more for sipping. So instead of having your typical shot glass, you can use a pony glass. I have a pony glass here with my tequila in it already. You can use a brandy snifter if you want to, depending on what you have. But the idea here is you don't want to just chug it. You want to sip it. You want to enjoy it. You really want to embrace what it is. The Blanco is actually the best-selling tequila that we have in tequila. So what you have there is actually something pretty cool. It's used in a very popular cocktail. There is a famous bar called La Capilla. It's literally down the street from where our distillery is. And the gentleman who owns La Capilla has been making this cocktail, La Batanga, for years. If you see in the picture, the drink is actually that. It's Coke, Mexican Coke, if you want to call it Mexican Coke, because it's made with sugar, not made with high fructose corn syrup. There's ice added to it. They salt the rim. One shot of the Blanco tequila. And the cool thing is he cuts limes with that knife, and then he cuts chilies and salsa and leaves the oils on the knife, sticks the knife into the glass and stirs, and then serves the cocktail. So what you got is something that's like spicy and sweet and delicious. But they also call this bar La Capilla the church, because you walk in feeling good, but you come out usually on your knees. So if you can handle it, you can drink it. La Capilla is the place to go if you're ever in tequila. So how to taste tequila? Before you taste it, you want to smell it. I know if you've done wine tastings with Stacy, you know that there's a process. So with tequila, you want to do the same thing, but you can take it all in one nose, but you want to go side by side. One side, and then in the other side. And you're going to notice differences. You're going to notice something that's a little bit different about that when you taste it and when you smell it. On one side of your nose, you're going to get some fruits and some citrus notes. On the other side, you're going to get alcohol because that's what it is.
Would you use tequila like as an aperitif before dinner or after dinner, or doesn't matter?
It really doesn't matter. If you're having a barbecue or you're doing something kind of fun and you're doing something crazy and you're entertaining, let's say people for a barbecue, or you're doing Mexican food in your house, you can do it before, during, and after. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It's really pretty good. You can drink tequila anytime you want, really. But the cool thing also about tequila, especially Blanco tequila, is that it's very mixable. So take a sip. Tell me what you think.
We had that's what we had for dinner.
You'll notice that you get a little bit of burn, but not a lot.
Little smokiness.
Yeah, because the agave comes from the highlands. The highland gives you a little bit of sweet and smoke. The lowlands, which is the other part, gives you a lot of smoke. So you'll get that in some other tequilas. Ours tends to be very bright and very flavorful. People like it, hate it. You can tell me you don't like it. It's okay.
It's very smooth.
I love it.
That's
We're
cool.
cutting up limes and jalapenos so we can put the knife in the tequila.
But you got to get some Coke to do it as well.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes,
Coke. It works
Yes.
with Diet Coke too if you're interested in Diet Coke.
It sounded fun with the pepper and stuff, so.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's
I have a
a delicious
homegrown
cocktail.
jalapeno that I left on the plant way too long, so it's a little spicy.
Cha. So let me tell you more about the Blanco. So the Blanco itself is not 100% tequila. It is 70% blue agave, 30% sugarcane. So we refer to this as a mixto. There are a lot of mixtos in the marketplace. This is one of them. It's not terribly expensive. It's not terribly cheap, but it's a good quality tequila that's gotten some very good awards. Most other Blanco tequilas are more 50% blue agave and 50% grain alcohol. So when you drink those, especially if you were in college and you're getting wasted on tequila for the first time and you had that bad hangover the next day, chances are you were drinking something that was that. And grain alcohol will make you foggy and crazy the next day. Ours, because of the sugarcane, eases that burn. It actually makes it very smooth. So if you smell this tequila, to me, when you smell it, all I think is margaritas. It's like, man, it's like a margarita to me. I can't wait to drink it. So, okay, ready for the next one? Okay, so El Tequileno also makes a reposado. Does anyone know what reposado means? Okay, reposado means rested. So when you make the tequila, when you're making your tequila, you put it in oak barrels. Our Blanco is aged for 15 days in oak.
Little drinks.
Our reposado is aged for 3 months. So you'll notice that the reposado has a little bit of a brown tinge. That's because of the oak exposure that's in contact with the tequila. And I'll show you a little bit later. They are made in gigantic 23,000 liter barrels. They're massive. They're absolutely massive. So for us, you're getting really good taste of agave, but you're also going to get a little bit of that oak, and it's going to make a nice combination for you. So let's do that. Let's do the reposado next. Take the sniff.
Not the Cristalina reposado, correct?
Cristalino's going to come third.
Okay. Just making sure, because they both said reposado, so.
No, Cristalino is we're going to do third.
And my husband knew rested, but we were muted.
I talked about the color. Yeah. So the color is a nice brown. It's rested for us 8 months. So 8 months in oak, 23,000 liter barrels. This is delicious. This tequila is is the main one that you'll ever use to make margaritas. If you're ever in Mexico, you will see these authentic bottles sitting everywhere in just about every bar, in every resort town in Mexico. That's just smooth and delicious.
Oh my, it's so smooth. It doesn't even really taste like tequila. Or,
No.
and it's, this one's got a lot of oak to it, yes?
Yep, 8 months exposure to oak. For awards, it's very interesting. You'll always see, like you'll see on the slide here, there's all these medals. Everyone talks about the medals they get. This particular tequila has won some great spirit awards. It's won some double selection. It's the best one of 2020. But the one that resonates most with Americans is that the Wine Enthusiast rated it 91 points in the Best Buy. So we're trying to not just be a Mexican brand, we're trying to, pretty much let the world understand, especially Americans, that, hey, this is good for you guys too. And we're using your magazines to be able to talk about our quality. So cool. Who likes the first one better than the second one? Okay. Everyone else like the second one better? Okay. How many people like whiskey? That's why. Okay, that makes sense. If you like Reposado, it's got more of a whiskey kind of connotation to it. All right.
One question. What about, like, I remember, I haven't done this in years, but I remember drinking tequila and you would have, like, I think of salt or a piece of lime in my hand and all. Is that a custom that's?
It's that you do that with really bad tequila. You're going to sit there, because think about it. You're adding salt and you're adding lime to something that you should be sipping naturally. So if the tequila is not that good, yeah, you kind of want to add the lime to it. Yeah, you want to kind of add ice to it. You want to put salt on there in order for you to take away from really the nastiness that you're getting. The idea of good tequila is to sip. You can mix it. It's very mixable. But, doing the shot with the lime, and, that's Clint Eastwood. That's not 2021. I hate to say it, but that really is the truth. The tequila's come a long way since those days.
Okay.
Any more questions? No? Okay.
I had
So
a question.
Sure.
So you mentioned the tequila is made in tequila. Is it like the champagne thing of it's only tequila if it's in tequila?
Correct. There are other products that use agave that are made outside of tequila. One is called mezcal. And I'm sure you've had mezcal, and mezcal tends to be very smoky because that's how they want to make that particular item. There are another thing called sotol. Sotol is exactly like tequila, probably about half the price. And here again, depending on whose you're buying, it's made outside of the region, but still pretty good. It's good options.
And one other question, the grain alcohol thing, is there a way to know if the tequila that you're getting is like this or the grain alcohol option?
Yes, there is a website or an app you can put on your phone called Tequila Matchmaker. And it's something that you can analyze. Well, that's interesting. And we'll talk about it also. There is a number that every distillery has. Our number is a NOM. It's 1108. It's on every bottle. You'll see other brands have different numbers on them. And just based on who they are, they will tell you who is organic, naturally verified, purity and additive free, and others that are not on the list. And chances are those that are not on the list are the ones that add chemicals. They add flavors. They darken the añejos. They darken the reposados to make them look a certain way. And chances are there is additional things, up to 10% of it can be grain alcohol.
Thanks.
Any other questions? No? Okay. So the next one is our Cristalino. And actually, you guys are really privileged. We just released this in the United States like not even a month ago. So Cristalino is actually something really unique and different. I happen to love this one a lot. It for us is a Cristalino Reposado. which is very unique compared to what most people do, is they'll take a Blanco or they'll take a young tequila and filter it. In this respect, we've taken our Reposado, aged it for 4 months instead of 8 months, and then filtered it. And that's what you have in your glass now. And I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised when you taste this in comparison to the two that you've already had. So let's do the process again. Sniff. I love this one. And then taste. Man, that's great. I love that. It's just vibrant and gives you such sweetness.
Yeah.
And it's got some of the connotations of the Reposado, but it's got something added to it in the respect that that filtering really changes the way the tequila tastes.
Now, what is an año, and like, does this company have one?
And añejo.
Añejo, sorry,
It's
I'm
pronounced añejo. That's okay.
añejo.
We actually make 7 different tequilas, and 4 of our tequilas are Reposado. We do have one añejo, and we do make an extra añejo. We figured, it's Saturday night. Yeah, it's great, but not everyone's going to be sitting home after they drink 3 tequilas, never mind 7. If it's 7, then we'd be here all night drinking, and then we'd be cutting up limes and trying to make margaritas and stuff. So it'd definitely be a lot of fun. But Cristalino for us is something new and different, and you're one of the first people to get it, and it literally just started getting some awards. So I'm sure as you see time go by, you'll see more of this.
Hey, Elliot.
So yes.
We're actually headed to Mexico in January. Is Paradise or your brands in most of the hotels at all down there at all, or not?
It depends where you're going in Mexico, but if you're going to like Cabo San Lucas, if you're going to the west coast of Mexico, you're going to see it more prominently there than you will be on, say, the east coast of Mexico.
So not in the Cancun Playa del Carmen.
Oh no, you'll see us in Cancun, but maybe not in every single resort, but we're in there.
Moon
And
Palace?
you'll see us in half bottles, not necessarily full bottles either.
How about Moon Palace? Do you know if they distribute there?
I don't know.
You
I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I could tell you where we're distributed in New Jersey and New York, but I couldn't tell you where in Mexico. They don't give you that information. I wish I knew. I did have one of my customers from New Jersey. Actually, he was in Mexico with a group of his guys as a retailer. And while away, he sent me a picture of him and his buddies holding the bottle that was in the hotel room, and they were drinking it. I was like, man, I forgot how good this was, So
good. That's what.
Good.
And the label should be the same there.
it will be exactly the same. What you have here is what we have there. Yes, we want to be as authentic and grassroots as possible.
Thank you.
Okay, it's another question.
Sure.
What's the significance of the worm in some tequila? What is that all about?
It's not a worm in tequila. It's actually in mezcal only. And Clint Eastwood made that pretty famous from a brand called Monte Alban. I'm sure you may have remembered this at the end of one of his movies. He would sit there and eat the worm. Eating the worm is craziness, if you ask me, because you're going to get so messed up from it just because of how it's been exposed to the alcohol. It's very intense. Tequila makers don't generally do that. It's mezcal makers do that.
Mezcal, that's right. That's right. I'm sorry.
There's another one called Dos Cubanos is another, I believe, that has 2 worms on the bottom. So if you're sharing the bottle, you both get one. So.
So I had a question about the packaging. I think it's fascinating how you have some twist top
Yep.
and
Okay.
some cork.
Mhm.
And the Cristalino actually comes with the, I don't even know what you call this, the old fashioned labels that haven't been around since the 80s that you like break the seal to actually open the bottle.
There's a reason for that too. But here, like, for example, this is our platinum. Oop. What Stacy, hold up the Blanco you have, so that everyone can see it in the camera. Okay, so no, you got to raise it higher. There you go. What Stacy is holding in her hand is the traditional tequila that is made in Mexico and sold in Mexico and the #1 seller for us. That is part of our legacy line. So the Reposado and the Blanco that you have tonight are our legacies. Those are the ones that have been around forever. These are the ones that people have fallen in love with over the last 62
A
years.
little bit I had.
Um,
Yeah.
What you have, what I'm holding up here, and this is the Cristalino, just to give you an example. These are called Grand Reserves. So they're going to be slightly different. Instead of having, I almost want to say, instead of just doing margaritas, these you truly want to sip. These are, although you can mix with this, and you can probably mix with the Cristalino also. I also have another one with me. I don't have them all with me, but this is our Reposado Grand Reserve. They're about $20 more than the other ones that you saw. So they're a little more expensive, and the quality is in all of them. So, just because we're drinking a few that maybe are a little less expensive, I mean, you're tasting something that is very high quality in comparison to just about anybody else in the industry. So it's very good. Now, you said, Stacy, that some people did Reposado Rare?
Yes, some people have that.
Okay, so
Not
Reposado.
everybody.
Okay, so well, I'll go quickly with it then. But Reposado Rare is actually one of the biggest mistakes that ever happened to this distillery ever. It was about 7 years ago. The distillery was starting to move their bottling and their aging process from in tequila to Guadalajara. So when I showed you that picture a few slides back of their new bottling plant, they had to move all these big, giant 23,000 liter barrels, and you can't do them when they're full. You got to wait till they're empty and truck them basically the hour and a half from tequila to Guadalajara, and then they put them in the bottling plant. Well, they kind of forgot about this one barrel. It's just sitting in the corner of the distillery, and they left it there. Then all of a sudden COVID came, and they're like, well, what happened? They kind of left it there. And then they were trying to figure out what else they could do to, get that bottling plant ready. And they kind of forgot about this barrel. And it's kind of hard to forget a 23,000 liter barrel. But they did. And at first they were going to throw it away until they tasted it. And they tasted it and they're like, oh my goodness, this is crazy good. They thought it would be overexposed to oak, but because it's made in the very big barrels and not in a small whiskey barrel, which differentiates añejo or extra añejo from reposado, they decided to bottle this anyway. It's 6 years, 4 months old. It is the best thing that we make. It's the top of the line for us. It's, you can see from the awards here, it's got 95 points. It's got 94 points from the enthusiast. It's won double gold, triple gold, US Spirits Ratings gold. This is an amazing bottle of tequila, meant to be sipped, not meant to be mixed with anything else. You drink it like you would drink a fine cognac or a really good whiskey or a delicious scotch. You put it in a glass, you're going to warm it up, and you're going to drink it and enjoy it. So for those of you who have it, you've got something very, very special. And the difference between this and an extra añejo is the size of the barrel. So you have to be aged at least 3 years in a barrel that holds less than 600 liters, which is the size of a typical whiskey barrel. But when you're in a very large 23,000 liter barrel, you can't be called extra añejo. It could very well be called extra añejo if it was made in a small barrel, just based on its age. But we are the only Reposado Rare. So if you have it, drink it, because you're going to love it. Absolutely. So let me tell you a little bit more about our distillery here. I think you might be a little surprised. So for those of you who are looking to go to Guadalajara and take a tour of tequila one day, we do have a beautiful hotel that just got built on the property. It is called Casa Sayas. It is on the back side of our distillery. So if you look at this picture, it's a 25-room, beautiful boutique hotel, but behind it on the right-hand side, that's the distillery. And these big trees that you see here are the mango trees that I was referring to as the 150-year-old mango trees. So if you want to come, they have a fantastic restaurant. They have a beautiful area for doing spa. it's just a beautiful place all in all together. So if you ever want to go and take a visit, it's a great spot. So it's 25 rooms, boutique retreat hotel. It's open since 2019, but I can tell you that I was just there back over the summer, and it is definitely the real deal. It's a terrific place to go. There's a hospitality center, and while you're there, you're also right in the heart of tequila. So across the street is another brand called Fortaleza. They happen to be first cousins with this particular distillery's family. Down the street is Sauza. Down the street from them is Jose Cuervo. Down the street from them is, I can't even remember who the other ones are. But the bigger brands, the ones that are out there now, like the Casamigos of the world and the Espolons of the world, are on the outskirts. They are, companies that make tequila for others as well as themselves, and they are on the outskirts of the city. This is right in the heart of tequila. So if you're going to tour tequila and you're going to come, this is where you want to go. And there's a lot of things that you can do to experience a good time there. And that's pretty much it. Any questions?
So I have one other question.
Sure.
I just always remember back in the day when people would talk about Cuervo and the color, and that it was mostly caramel. Am I wrong about that?
No, you're absolutely right. Caramel coloring is something that most of these, like what I say, these brands that are not verified additive free add to their tequila. So if you are looking at a Jose Cuervo, especially their low end, it's 50-50. It's 50% blue agave, 50% grain alcohol with caramel coloring in it. So it's really not that good. And that's probably what gave you your hangover, way back when. There are other brands that are similar to it. I don't want to talk badly about other brands. So I would just say that, do your homework, go on Tequila Matchmaker, find those 50 tequilas that are additive free. We're on the list. I think we're pretty good. And, I appreciate you guys taking the time and drinking it with me today.
Hey, I have a question. So I downloaded the app. So how would you find what you were just saying? The top.
Okay. So there, you know what? Where's my phone? Oh, okay. Here it is. Okay, thanks. Let me go to the app itself. So Tequila Matchmaker is, I'm not used to using this camera, is one of the apps on my phone. And you can click on it and you could either, sign in on your Facebook. You don't even really need to sign on. But what it'll do is it'll tell you about newly added brands. And it'll tell you about, I don't know if you guys can really see this, but it'll tell you how many tequilas are actually made in tequila. It says there are 2,574 brands made in tequila right now. Now, here's the important thing. On the other side of that, where it says brand, there's something called NAM. It's a denomination. You're going to see here that there's only 214 distilleries or 215 distilleries. That tells you that there are some distilleries that are making over 100 brands of tequila that are, literally, it's not like going to the soda machine at McDonald's and saying, okay, I want Diet Coke with cherry, but let me add a little vanilla and do it this way, that way. It doesn't really work that way. You have copper pot distilled like we have. You have column distilled like most people are doing. And then you have copper column distilled. For us, and I can tell you that copper pot distilled is probably the best and purest way to make the best alcohol. I know scotches and Irish whiskeys are made that way. And our tequila is made that way. There's some great vodkas that are made that way. So it's interesting to know that. If you use this, there's other things on here where it says school. And I'm trying to get it to open it up. And it'll sit here and tell you about how tequila is made, how to taste tequila, what recipes you could use, and touring the region and using the actual app. And on the using of the app, it will tell you which tequilas are verified additive free. You could also go to the Tequila Matchmaker website and it will tell you the same thing. It'll tell you exactly the same thing. Who is a certain, who's a certain the organic or verified additive free, who's not. There's also some good news. Like here it says Eva Longoria is launching a tequila from Desperate Housewives. There's another one, celebrity history from Michael Jordan to The Rock, and they're talking about how celebrities have done stuff, you know, with tequila, like from Sincoro to 818 and to Terramana and brands like that. But keep in mind, those brands are made in distilleries that produce 20, 30, 40 other brands. So they're not exactly, it's not like The Rock is sitting there saying, you know, I want a copper pot distilled and I want only this agave. It's here, taste this barrel. And if you like this barrel, this is how we're going to make your tequila. And he puts his name on it, and he's a great promoter. Everyone loves The Rock. His tequila sells really well. Is it the best thing in the world? I'll leave that up to you to decide. But at the end of the day, if you're looking for quality, craft, and you're looking for verified, additive-free, natural tequila, this is the one. Any more questions?
Very nice. Very nice. I want to know how the Tinton Falls people loving this. Oh, here they come.
No, we're really enjoying this. Awesome.
Cool.
Very good.
Thank you.
There we go. There we go.
I learned a lot.
What was that drink that you were talking about was famous with the Blanco?
It's called the Batanga. Batanga.
Batanga.
Look it up. I'm telling you, if you like having Coke drinks, it's Coca-Cola, Blanco tequila, lime, hot chilies, a little salsa on the knife. Keep the oils on there and stir it away.
Margarita has tequila, right?
And there are several places where you can get Mexican Coke here.
Yeah, it's a little more expensive, but you can get it. I honestly, I think regular Coke is fine if you're, why go out and spend, $7 for a 6-pack? You can get a 2-liter bottle for $1, so.
And what reminds me, is it a Paloma? That's the famous tequila
A
drink?
Paloma is another one. It's made with grapefruit.
Grapefruit.
Yep.
Yum.
Yeah, margarita is the most popular. Absolutely. There's some great recipes also. I mean, you could always Google recipes and come up with some good ones. As a matter of fact, last week, my girlfriend and I were sitting at a bar and we were actually sitting there coming up with cocktails in our head, trying to figure out what would be cool, what would be different. We came out with some really cool ones. I really had a good time with that. We had fun.
Very nice. Very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've had a tequila mule, and those are delicious.
Those are great.
Oh,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah, instead of vodka or Irish whiskey, you could totally use
Yep.
tequila. Reposado especially.
They're awesome.
Very good. All
Any
right,
more questions?
everyone.
Oh,
Thank
you
you
know
so
what?
much. Oh,
Here's actually one for you if you want to look it up. I got handed. It's called the Thanksgiving Margarita. It's tequila, orange liqueur, apple cider, pear juice, and cinnamon sticks.
Oh,
Oh,
that sounds delicious.
very
This looks like a
fallish.
cocktail if you're looking for something fun.
I think that'll be our Thanksgiving cocktail.
There you go.
Yeah, it sounds like fun.
There you go.
You can Google this. I'm sure it's on Pinterest somewhere, and you can make a Thanksgiving margarita.
Thanksgiving margarita. I love it.
Yeah.
Love it. All right, everybody, if there's no other questions, we'll say thank you to Elliot.
Thank you guys for taking the time to sit with me and sample some good
Thank you,
tequilas
Elliot.
tonight.
Nice to
Thank
see
you.
Thank you.
friends.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh, that's good. You're gonna like that.
And happy Saturday to everyone.
Yes.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Stacy.
Thanks, Stacy.
Thank you.
Thank you, Stacy.
Thank you, Stacy.
Thanks, everyone. And it was nice to meet Suzanne.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Nice to see you, Suzanne.
It's good to see you too again, Elliot.
Keep in touch, all right?
Oh, definitely.
Especially with
Awesome.
the painting in it.
It's very good. That
All
one
right.
and the.
All right, my
rocker.
cinnamon people.
We made a
Take care.
batanga
Oh, there you
There you
go.
and we cut some jalapeno up, and put it in. It's fabulous.
There you go.
Very good, very
Thank you.
good.
Great. See, there you go. Now I want one.
It's good.
It's tempting.
Have a good one, guys.
Good night.
Happy
All
Saturday.
right. Good
Good
to
night.
see you all.
Kristen.
Esther and Robert, love you. Mwah. Thank you.
Good night.
All right, my cinnamon
Bye now.
See ya.
people.
Night, bye-bye.
All right, we're gonna do a wine tasting in November. I think South African wine, so I'll keep you
Ooh.
posted,
Ooh,
Excellent.
Yay.
right?
Wonderful.
All right, everybody be good.
Rum.
Thank you.
Um,
tasty.
Weekend.
Talk soon.
Bye.